Welcome back to Lariat TV News. This week we bring information on THC vapes ban. I'm Marissa Muniz.
And I'm Marin Small. First, we have important updates on the I-35 construction.
Waco drivers might have noticed some detours this week. The Texas Department of Transportation has shut down sections of 17th and 18th Streets as part of its new road project. Construction will take place over the next 2 weeks. The upgrades are designed to improve safety, mobility, and enhance accessibility for drivers. This is part of the I-35 South project, which expands 3 miles of main lanes and the frontage roads from South Loop 340 to 12th Street.
Governor Greg Abbott recently signed an executive order banning the sales of disposable vapes that contain any hemp-derived THC. LTVN's Jacob Stowers brings you the story.
The Texas State Legislature passed Senate Bill 2024 on September 1st, which prohibits the sale of disposable vapes, vapes that imitate cartoon characters aimed at minors, or vapes featuring an image that resembles a food product.
We can no longer sell THC vapes. Any vapes with THC, regardless of where they're made from, we can no longer sell any vapes that contain any amount of THC.
This bill is largely aimed at protecting minors, but the legislation has a sweeping effect on Texans as a whole.
Elderly people who can't just go get these things, they were pretty dependent on it. They would come in, it helps with a number of things. People who have, chronic diseases, they would come in, it helps with, whatever they may be going through, and now they don't have access to that, and our hands are tied, and we can't help them in that sense anymore.
While college students statewide are also being affected by this bill, some think it will lead to positive change.
I feel like a ban is probably a good thing since it's had, a negative impact on many societies today, many states. I feel like with this ban, it'll help others reach out to people who are struggling with it. It might end, more peer influence on each other, and it might support the Baylor community in general.
This law will only apply to any sales after September 1st, which means that any violation of this bill before the effective date will be dealt with based on the previous law. For Lariat TV News, I'm Jacob Stowers.
Baylor students are stepping into history thanks to the University Library's Constitution Day pop-up exhibit. From rare historical documents to free pocket constitutions, the exhibit gives students and the Waco community a hands-on way to explore America's founding. It's a celebration of the Constitution, civic engagement, and the chance to make history feel real right on campus.
I think it's really important for students to get to see the real stuff of history. Sometimes we see a lot of stuff on our screens, on our phones. We do a lot of digital research, and that's important. But there's something about seeing a letter from 100 years ago or even further back, or looking at objects that represent so many amazing historical moments right there in person.
You may have noticed there are mugs, plates, or bowls around Waco, but there's more to Black Oak art than meets the eye. LTVN's Marissa Muniz fires up the story.
At Black Oak Art, every piece starts with just a lump of clay. And as I quickly learned, each piece takes a lot of time, patience, and care, the same kind of care that this team pours into this Waco legacy. Back in 2013, Common Ground's owner Jill Barrett was looking for a change from fine china to handmade ceramics. Barrett then went to friends and Baylor alumni, Jonathan and Sarah Martin, and that was the beginning of Black Oak Art.
So he said, let me create a way to carve a logo into the side of a mug. And she said, sure, go for it. And she gave him freedom to do that. And it was something like this. And that was kind of our first customer.
Today you can find Black Oak art pieces all over Waco, from Magnolia Market to Milo's and Fabled. But for the team, it's about more than ceramics, as every piece is carrying on co-founder Jonathan's legacy following his passing in 2022.
Now that he has passed away, it means even more to me that people are getting to hold a piece of something that literally has his fingerprints on it is pretty beyond, I can't even express how much that means to me personally and our business.
Jonathan left a huge impact on the hearts of his employees.
A lot of people come into art thinking, oh, I'm not an artist, or I wasn't born an artist. And he would tell people, hey, this is a skill and discipline, and anyone can be an artist.
Black Oak Art continues to grow while staying true to the vision the Martins started.
Being able to continue it in such a vibrant way, we continue to get customers, we continue to expand across the nation, and I do feel like it's all exactly what Jonathan would have wanted.
The Martins are shaping more than just clay. They're shaping a piece of Waco's story. For Lariat TV News, I'm Marissa Muniz. Students came together this week for Neighbor Nights, a monthly event that highlights diverse traditions and cultures while strengthening the community. Marin Small has more details.
This week, Multicultural Affairs partnered up with organizations like HSA, Latin Dance Society, and Better Together to host Neighbor Night, a monthly dinner event that highlights different cultures and creates a space for students from diverse cultural backgrounds and Christian faiths to come together
and make those connections between their own culture and a different person's culture. There's a lot of ways in that we're interconnected that people just might not expect.
This month, Neighbor Night celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month, providing food, dancing, and discussions on the history and culture of Hispanic heritage, encouraging students to get involved and connect with the community.
I think these events will help make bridge between your perspective or your knowledge with something you may not know, and so it helps you kind of humanize the other person and think we are similar instead of we're different. This is me, this is you.
By including a variety of cultural clubs, Neighbor Night aims to broaden students' horizon, helping them gain a deeper understanding of their own culture as well as their peers.
These organizations are all established in here, and they're wanting people from outside who maybe don't know about them to come and explore and keep getting involved in that community.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Marin Small.
Coming up, fashion and philanthropy meet for a unique cause.
And students find out which founding father they're the most like. Keep it here.
Let there be light. Let there be roommates and teammates and strangers who become family. Let there be marching and cheering. Let there be challenging courses and time to share. Scholarship and championships. Let there be groundbreaking and soul-searching. Let there be laughter. Let there be joy. Let there be light.
This week, fashion met philanthropy here in Waco as local boutiques, volunteers, and Baylor students came together for a creative cause. LTVN's Savannah Ford has a story.
I'm at Hotel 1928, where Fashion with a Passion is hosting Baylor students and volunteers in support of Mission Waco's Creative Arts program.
The funds raised help give kids access to arts programs, but it's Baylor students and the volunteers behind the scenes who make it all happen.
We also have a ton of Baylor students that volunteer ahead of time to help prep. The Baylor GMMA group came over the weekend to spend a couple of hours with me to prep all of the items that you're going to see out here. And we also have day of volunteers that come and help set up and then run our registration and check-in. They help in the model suite. Their hands are everywhere, and it's been so amazing to have such a great support from Baylor.
Beyond helping backstage, everyone attending is supporting a bigger mission, giving kids in the community access to programs they might otherwise miss.
We really want to bring more awareness to Mission Waco as a whole, but especially our children and youth program. We serve probably almost 100 students at this point, from local elementary and middle school and high schools, and so this really does go to help fund to make that experience possible.
Students say volunteering at the show gives them a chance to connect with the community while supporting a meaningful cause.
I would like other students to know that giving back to the community doesn't have to be boring. It could be fun, like giving back to the community through a fashion show, or raising funds through raffle items that are graciously donated from the community.
This show proves fashion can do more than just look good. It can inspire, unite, and make a real difference in Waco. For Lariat TV News, I'm Savannah Ford.
Baylor theater students are preparing for opening night of Little Women the musical on October 15th. Kendall Rickett sets the scene.
Baylor Theater prepares for the opening of Little Women the musical, opening Wednesday, October 15th. So far, we've already blocked the entire show, so we're doing runs right now, and we're basically cleaning everything up. But yeah, it's been super fun. Joe is really outspoken and passionate, which is really sweet because I feel like I relate to her in a lot of ways, with theater and all the things I want to do. So.
Little Women is one of the 2 main stage musicals that BU Theater does each school year. But Baylor Theater does a unique job of incorporating different aspects of theater to build up well-rounded actors.
A big thing that I got drawn to for Baylor was they have a very holistic approach, they call it. And so all of the actors also have to do sound, lighting, and scenic and things like that. And so it isn't forcing you to, but it's inviting you to be a part of every aspect of theater, which makes you appreciate everybody around you a lot more, and then we're all friends and a lot closer for it. So that's what I think makes Baylor Theater specifically so special.
Baylor Theater students are appreciative for the way Baylor Theater operates and thankful for the impact it has had on their time at Baylor. For Lariat TV News, I'm Kendall Rickett.
As part of Baylor's Constitution Week celebration, students were able to find out which founding father they're most like. The History Department hosted the interactive event in the Tidwell lobby on Thursday. Students took a 5-question quiz to determine which founding father had a similar personality as them.
Well, what inspired it was the fact that yesterday was Constitution Day, so it's the anniversary of when they signed the Constitution. What Baylor's doing as part of America 250 is we're actually having a whole Constitution Week with all sorts of different events.
With September being National Suicide Prevention Month, one student organization is making sure students feel supported throughout the academic year. LTVN's Tatum Vickers brings you the story.
September is National Suicide Prevention Month, and this Baylor student organization is advocating for change here on campus.
Active Minds is a national organization dedicated to promoting education and awareness about mental health issues that affect college students, all while working to reduce the stigmas surrounding them.
Active Minds, we try to engage with our student community as much as possible, just so that students know that they're supported, they're seen, and also there are resources available to them on Baylor's campus and within social organizations as well. So if people need a place to belong, we try to provide that to them.
Nearly half of all American college students have been affected by depression, anxiety, drug abuse, suicide, and many other mental health issues. And because these struggles are prevalent on college campuses, there is a growing need for awareness.
It is a physical, biological thing. I'm a psych student, so that we've learned a lot about the biological basis for these things, and people treat it as just a willpower thing, or you're just not trying hard enough, or maybe you're just kind of weak-minded or maybe sensitive or emotional, but it really is a matter of biology, and it's a physical thing.
The group meets every Wednesday at Hankomer School of Business, and students are encouraged to drop by or reach out to President Kayla Schlottman for further questions and information. As Suicide Prevention Month reminds us, starting the conversation can be life-saving and help is always within reach. For Lariat TV News, I'm Tatum Vickers.
Monday afternoon marked the launch of the 2025 Career Fair at the Waco Convention Center. This fair is held annually by Workforce Solutions for the Heart of Texas, spotlighting efforts to expand career opportunities and strengthen workforce diversity across Texas communities. The event welcomes over 60 employers offering positions ranging from entry-level to managerial roles. The next job fair in Waco is scheduled for October 29th, hosted by the Greater Waco Chamber of Commerce.
I've noticed that there's a variety of other opportunities within the different regions, whether it's staffing agencies or different municipalities and stuff, which is, I think, a great benefit for the diversity of the different type of work that these people are looking for.
Last Friday, Lauren Daigle, a prominent Christian artist, took the stage at Foster Pavilion. LTVN's Jacob Stowers has the story.
I'm standing here in front of Foster Pavilion to watch Grammy Award-winning artist Lauren Daigle perform this evening. Lauren Daigle not only sings Christian music, she acts out her faith during concerts.
It was her Behold concert, and we had VIP tickets, and she actually prayed for me, so that was really cool, and I loved it so much. She's just such an amazing person. I have some health issues. It was a health condition, and we just I just kind of bore my testimony to her, and she just was being very thoughtful and nice.
Prayer and support like Daigle's helped carry Melody through, all the way to Baylor.
I think really she's just made worship and Bible verses more more relatable, and definitely like she's able to speak God's truth through her songs, and I think just honestly sharing God's word is making a huge impact, and she's got a lot of supporters that way.
Daigle herself struggled with a skin condition at an early age, which led her to connect music and faith.
But she was just such a strong, heartfelt prayer, and we've never forgotten. Melody's been to, I think, a total of 4 concerts now, and we've emailed her team and let her know about Melody's progress. We never thought we'd be at this point where she could be 14 hours away from home in college, but we wouldn't miss a concert.
This concert is the second of an ongoing series put on by Baylor and Foster Pavilion. Tucker Wetmore will be the next artist in this series, performing on October 23rd of this year. For Lariat TV News, I'm Jacob Stowers.
Next, we preview football's upcoming bout with Arizona State.
And recap soccer's match with Abilene Christian.
We were born to run. There's a spark in your heart and a fire that's in your eyes. Full of hope 'cause you know everything's gonna be alright. Living our best life, taking it all in stride. The light will be a guide. We were born to run. We were born to run.
After a mediocre performance last weekend versus Samford, Baylor football is preparing to host the reigning Big 12 champs, Arizona State. This is the first meeting between the Bears and the Sun Devils since 1990, when ASU won 34-13. Both teams enter Saturday with records of 2-1. Arizona State beat Texas State in Northern Arizona, but fell to Mississippi State in its non-conference slate. Baylor had 468 total yards of offense versus Samford, but is looking to be more aggressive Saturday.
Could have did way more, you know. Like I said, being more dominant up front and attacking the ball. We could have had even more takeaways, you know. So just honing in on the small details and getting better, ready for conference play.
Kickoff is set for 6:30 with coverage on Fox. Even though football came out on top this past weekend against Samford, the team is hoping to improve on skills ahead of this week's game. Claire Marie Scott brings you the story.
Despite a 42-7 win over Samford Saturday, Baylor football was not quite content with the outcome of the game. In the first half, Baylor was able to dominate offensively, scoring 3 touchdowns and only allowing 1 from the Bulldogs. But in the second half, only scored 1 additional TD in the fourth quarter.
You know, they had a quarterback come in second half and was frankly playing harder than us, you know. And so defensively, we have to play with an increased level of physicality up front. Today was not good enough.
In the second half, the Bears struggled with turnovers, throwing 2 interceptions. Not all was bad news, though, as the defense had 4 takeaways throughout the game.
I really think it always goes back to like our fundamentals and what we believe, our morals. So each week we trying to do the same thing, no matter who we play, Big 12, non-conference, we trying to do the same thing. We trying to win, we trying to dominate.
Prior to next week's first conference game versus Arizona State, Coach Aranda has some goals he's looking to work on.
We've got to improve on just focus. I think we got to improve on line of scrimmage play, both offensively and defensively. I think we've got to improve on protecting the ball on offense, and we got to improve on limiting big plays on defense.
Next week, the Bears will be back in McLean Stadium to host ASU. For Lariat TV News, I'm Claire Marie Scott.
On Friday night, volleyball is taking a short drive down to Austin to take on the University of Texas. The number 2 ranked Longhorns are undefeated and coming off a 3-set sweep of 9th ranked TCU. The Bears are coming off a 4-day trip in Florida where the then 20th ranked Bears lost to 11th ranked University of Florida 3-2 after a back and forth night between the two teams. The Bears then traveled south to Orlando to take on the UCF Knights, sweeping them in 3 sets with an 8-1 run to seal the game.
You know, definitely on the road, UCF loved how we started that match, 7-0 run, and we're really dialed in and focused. So if we hold on to those things that we're able to take away from that and keep building on it, we'll continue to get better.
You can watch the game on the SEC Network at 6 p.m. Over the weekend, soccer ended its non-conference schedule undefeated with a win over Abilene Christian. I was there to cover the action. Baylor soccer ended non-conference play at home with a 2-goal shutout win versus the ACU Wildcats. Leading the scoring for the Bears was Tyler Isrig, who had both goals for the team in the first half, one coming off a penalty kick and the other off an assist from Ariana Jimison and Kai Hayes.
Obviously, Ty is capable of scoring all the time, left foot, right foot, midfield, forward, but playing in the midfield is different roles and responsibilities, and so now she's settled into that position and those responsibilities. She's starting to find different spaces to score from, and obviously great for her to get a finish on a penalty tonight as well, and so she's been excellent.
Isrig, in her new position as a mid-forward, has been playing full-time in the majority of her games in the season so far.
Like I said, playing the attacking mid role, so you just kind of have to learn to be comfortable in the pocket, especially on the edge of the box, and just under the 9, so a lot of times they're back to goal. So when I saw her getting the ball back to goal, I just had to know I had to be in a spot where she could lay it off, so I was able to drive into the box after that and go and take her on 1v1. So
Non-conference games have brought the team together from the front line to the back.
Yeah, I mean, starting the season off this way, I think has been really helpful and beneficial. And I think just being able to continue to win and work together, I think is the most important. We have a great team chemistry this year. I mean, I think that this is the closest team we've ever had. And I think just working well together. So I don't know, just continuing to progress in that. But yeah.
The 5-0-2 Baylor squad is starting conference play with a home clash against a 6-1 Texas Tech team this Friday the 19th. For Lariat TV News, I'm Aiden Richmond. Baylor soccer opens Big 12 play Friday versus Texas Tech. The Bears entered the match undefeated with a record of 5-0-2, which included a 2-0 win over a ranked Mississippi State team. Senior forward Tyler Isrig has had an outstanding season so far, winning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week for the second week in a row. Tech arrives in Waco, leading the Big 12 in total wins over the past 3 seasons. The Red Raiders are undefeated in their last 16 road conference matches.
Yeah, I mean, I think we feel really good about where we are. The team is confident. We've played very consistent, which is a big priority going into conference play. And so for us, it's one game at a time. We obviously can carry our confidence over, but the record doesn't really matter at this point. We have to focus on winning one conference game at a time. But we're in a good spot mentally, and we're really excited.
Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. at Betty Lou Mays Field. As always, the Lariat will keep you up to date on all things Baylor athletics. Stick with us for updates on your favorite teams. Back to you, ladies.
Thanks, Aiden. That closes out our newscast this week. Make sure you're keeping up to date by following all Baylor Lariat socials.
We hope to see you next Friday, and until then, have a safe week, and as always, stick 'em Bears.